Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final round of the MSR Formula Renault League. Today we're here at Sakita, and of course, as always, joined by WMDR Martin.
Konbanwa.
Of course, if you didn't understand what Martin just said, we are in Japan right now, and we are racing around a Suzuka-like circuit. I believe the circuit isn't real, but it's definitely got the traits from the real-life circuit Suzuka in the Formula 1 calendar.
Yeah, it's basically they told someone to copy their homework and make sure that it wouldn't be too noticeable, and then they ended up with Tsukito.
They got rid of the best part as well. They got rid of the hairpin.
I mean, they basically replaced the hairpin with a bigger hairpin, didn't they?
Um, somewhere probably.
Oh, no, I see what you mean now. Yeah, it's just kind of like a long 90-degree left-hander now.
Exactly. Yeah, it's more like a run up. Also, are you watching Fennec right now? Because I've got a really nice perspective of the track where I'm just watching all the cars go by.
I have been following Fennec for the past 2 minutes, yes.
I'm now on board with not on board. Following Dudek. As all the times are coming in. I think that's Eddie setting a 133.7 up in the top left. As he now goes on for it looks like he's going for another flyer, as I get a bit of lag there. And Fennec is beating that by 7 settings, getting in a nice lap of 1 minute 26, and Boj topping that by 2 seconds and getting a 124. And Roman, getting very close, within a tenth of a second to Boj, and getting 0.4. And yeah, under a tenth behind Boj. This is
And
gonna be
as we know, these two are championship rivals as well. Boj being 5 points ahead of Roman going into this final round. Dudek also with an outside chance of winning this championship, but for Roman to win, he needs to win this race with Boj finishing no higher than third. And for Boj to win, he just basically needs to finish in second place. And if you still want Dudek to win, then you're going to have to pray that somebody takes out both Boj and Roman this race.
Yeah, Dudek, I think Dudek currently third place. Then Roman, I think about 15 points behind Boj.
I think he's only 5 behind.
Only 5? Wow. I don't know where that one came out from then. But very close championship-wise, and this is going to be a race where if they do make a single mistake or somehow end up in the wall, that is going to be the championship ended for them. I hope we don't have a Senna moment where we have like Boj somehow dive down the inside of Roman, as Roman sets a 123.5, 5 tenths quicker than Boj, where that is an astonishing lap.
Yeah, I think if something like that happened, we'd see Dudek winning the championship like that one guy in a fairly recent DTM season, I believe. Because there were also 3 guys fighting for a title. There are 2 guys two guys being the favorites, and they collided in the first corner, I think, and that left some guy who was a lot of points behind, clinching it by just a couple at the very end of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's still all to play for. Anything can happen. I mean, we've seen what can happen to these cars, even with a small amount of knocking and damage. It can cause quite severe, severe damage with a little bit of touching of front and rear wings.
Yeah, exactly. These cars are really, really fragile, and especially with open wheels, you do not want to lock wheels, or it could send your car to the moon and potentially back. But you're never sure, so you don't want to try.
Yeah, no one certainly wants to try that at all. I think Roman currently on a out lap, trying to get his tyres warm, as he doesn't look to be going as quick as normal, unless he somehow sets an astonishing lap time.
He has actually managed to distance himself from Boj by a good 6/10 of a second.
Yeah, getting himself into the 123s, that is, Boj is going to have to try to pull something out of the bag, but I think as the session goes on, the track is just going to get quicker and quicker. So Boj, I think, will still have the opportunity to fight Roman maybe in qualifying, but definitely in the race.
Yeah, certainly hope so, as we're currently on board with Xevious, who is improving significantly. That's going to put him ahead of, if he can keep this margin, as that might be track limits, I'm not sure. But if he can keep that 6/10 advantage this lap, that would put him at least 3 places ahead of his current position in P7.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen how quick Xevious can be. Sometimes not as lucky. We're going a bit wide and still keeping it on the curb though. We've seen how quick Xevious can be, but sadly his luck is nothing. He's 4 tenths, so he's lost that 2-tenth lead, but that still will put him in front of Dudek and probably possibly Kutku. I finally mastered that name. And coming down into this, where is it? It is 4th. Yeah, it is in front of Cuckoo.
Way to go. He's less than a tenth, only a couple of hundredths behind Keza in P3, but Keza still being a full second behind his teammate. Surely he's still going to improve on that lap.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've seen how quick Keza has been in the past. He's definitely he's been one normally challenging the top and getting a lot of first place positions. I think he's won what track did it? I think he won possibly no. He's definitely won a track somewhere along the lines. But yeah, oh my god, absolutely sliding it through there. But yeah, K's definitely one of the quickest on tracks, just like his teammate. And does Boj have a penalty?
Ooh, he does actually. Let me just quickly check what that is for. That's one grid play, so I assume that's for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh, Fennec as well. Just as we look at the timetable, Fennec taking 3rd place from K's by a 10th and getting up into that into 3rd place for qualifying.
Yeah, this is gonna be pretty competitive fight for P3. It's looking like we've only got as Xevious puts it, within a second of Roman, so they're gonna have to step up their game if they still want to get that top 3 spot for this race.
Yeah, most definitely gonna be trying to get up there. Boj now looks to be on another quick lap. See him getting every single apex correct, absolutely using the track to its limits. Oh yeah, he's
it's unfortunate.
6 tenths down the time, and sadly had to abort that lap.
Meanwhile, let's take a look at our current temporary polls lead teammate. Sorry, Matt's in P6, about 2 seconds off of Roman. So I think he's definitely got some extra pace left in that car to harvest as well, as long as he can keep it on track, unlike the green car ahead of him as he returns to the pits. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, as well as you just saying that, there's definitely more pace in that car as Roman as well gets even further ahead of Boj and managing to get a 123.3, which is, we're getting close to the mark where he's going to be an entire second ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think he's planning on letting anybody even sniff his car tonight.
Oh, Xevious as well, taking 3rd place, I've just realised.
You mentioned that 2 minutes ago.
That was Fennec, wasn't it?
No, it was Xevious.
Oh my... It's my memory. I'm getting old, I'm joking. But, yeah, we've got quite a differing top lineup, because normally we would have Roman, Boj, K's, then Nats, but this time it's almost like a sandwich. We've got Roman, Boj, Xevious, Fennec, then K's, then Nats. So
yeah, it's definitely looking like a bit of a shaken up order. Let's hope that they can make an interesting race with that, because last time out we had a pretty interesting starting order as well, but due to some starting incidents it ended up kind of cooling down the race for P1.
yeah.
So let's hope they can all keep it clean and keep it as an exciting start of the race.
So something I am interested in is whether people may be using possibly wet setups as well. since
Yeah, that's a good point.
it is forecast to be raining at the start of the race. However, towards the end, I think it is going to lighten up a little, so I don't know if that will make people less inclined to pick the wet setup, or if people still feel more comfortable picking the more high downforce and more stable under wet conditions.
I think considering how many high-speed corners this track has, I think it's already a bit of a high downforce track. So I mean, I assume a lot of the drivers are probably going to be going for a bit more of a rainy setup as it kind of suits the track itself.
Yeah.
And as well, you really have to watch out for the fact that the barriers are
Ooh.
so close as we see some cars going wide and losing it in turn one.
Yeah, turn one on this track is just absolutely crazy. You're going in, you think you're going to brake somewhere, but you actually have to brake later. You have to somehow go through an entire first corner at massive amounts of speed and end up still braking, and it's just asking to either oversteer or understeer going through that. So I'm expecting that there is going to be possibly some spins or some cars going wide.
Yeah, turn one just requires an immense amount of grip to not go out. As we see Ellie lose it
Ooh.
after the second Degna, that's unfortunate. But I'd like to point out as well that K is currently in P4, has beaten Fennec by just a couple hundredths on his previous lap.
I mean, he's currently also 6 tenths up on his lap as well. So if he can get this, that would put him in front of Exevius. I wonder, can he get third place and snatch it back? It's gonna be. I think it might be close. Yes, and he takes him by, yeah. Oh my, very close. It only takes him less by a tenth.
Yeah, getting ever closer to that 1 second barrier, but I think that's going to be his last attempt, as there's only one lap's worth of time left, and on cold tires, you're not going to be doing your outlap at that speed.
Yeah. So
So that is qualifying over for Keza. Let's take a look at Boj, see if he's still up to something.
yeah, Boj clearly on his
Oh, using DRS throughout that entire corner. That's an interesting strategy there.
I mean, it's luckily with qualifying you can get away with, occasionally whacking into wall because you can go back to the pit lane. However, I do wonder if we see him doing that during the race, that is going to be insane. Boj less than a tenth up, so I don't think we'll see any moves in position between first and second.
Yeah, if that car ahead can get out of the way, he might be able to do one more lap at the end of this session, but we shall see as he comes across the line. Currently not improving. Oh, actually does improve by 0.08 of a second, as Roman apparently sets a new PB as well.
Even quicker, not by much, but still showing that absolute pace in that car.
Yeah,
That is just.
both drivers showing a similar amount of improvement on their lap times, but the gap itself is staying the same, of course. As Xevious, yeah, really only within 700ths of Keza there. I'm not sure if he's still on the lap, as Boj improves by about a tenth, but goes wide after the first Degna. Not
Yeah, I
giving up
mean,
chances there.
he's got to hope for a miracle to somehow beat Roman. Whether it's well, I mean, it can't be a penalty because Bo sadly has a penalty himself, and you can see him just letting off and
Oh,
parking it in the in the sand. I wonder, if I'm gonna speak right, is Xevious up on his time? He's very, very close to the back of Ultimate K's time wise. And if he can gain any small amount of margin over this race, he's 3 tenths down. He's going to have to go full send through these next 2 corners if he's going to hope for anything. But Xavier is very close to the back. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. It's going to be very, very interesting going completely flat. I don't think there's going to be any way of him gaining those 3 tenths.
yeah, he has not given up though, so let's see what he gets at the line. I don't think he improved, but he definitely kept on going until the very, very end there.
So yeah, with qualifying complete, we have Roman, Boj, and Kays taking the three quickest times. For sadly, Boj with that one place grid penalty, probably from speeding in the pit lane, that will drop him to third place, meaning the two teammates swap positions and will be starting in opposite positions. However, that does mean that Kays will still have an opportunity to possibly help his teammate and get him that second place position, and possibly try hold up Rome as much as he can to get Boj in there.
Yeah, exactly. As our two current championship contenders, both in the top three, so both definitely still have a chance to win this title. Dudek is currently down in P8 behind Mets and Kuka, so he's got some work cut out for him. We've got 15 drivers on the grid tonight, so a bit less than in the last race, I believe, but let's hope that we can finish with all 15 of them. That would be a great way to send off this season and potentially send off this game for the last full season of P Cars 2.
Yeah, very upsetting to see Project Cars go, but sadly due to the developers not really selling it anymore, to be fully honest, we won't the league have considered moving to Automobilista, which runs on the same game engine, which is good, but I heard the physics also are a lot better, and from experience, you can get away with a lot more things like collisions. There's a lot less of stupid desyncs that happen.
Did I hear that right? Do you like the game because you can crash more easily?
I mean, you know me. I've never been one for a clean race. I've always liked the safety car coming out. Whether it'll be in this race, I'm also just looking. There's no rain on track, is there?
I don't currently see any, so the rain may be coming in later in the race as we are about to get underway here.
All right, so here we go. We got 1, 2, 3 red lights for the final race, and there's a green. Ultimate K is getting a better start than Roman. He's that Danny inside coming into the first corner, called first corner. The too wide. Can K stick anything? No, Roman cuts him out. Oh, there's contact between cars in the back. I don't know if that's going to cause a safety car or not, but no, it looks like everyone's been got through that safely, except for that little hit. Dudek trying to make it right around the outside of Laruti going onto the gravel and absolutely understeering off.
And who's that going slowly? That's Kays? Does Kays have damage? Oh no, he's going. I mean, he seems to have picked up speed now. I wonder if he just got his tires dirty with some gravel or something. But yeah, who did we? I think it was Fennec that lost out massively at that start. Currently all the way down in P9.
Yeah, possibly wanting to either get out the way of his teammate, or try to get or try to help him out in the championship. That's the only reason I see making a mistake. But you can see all these cars up. I love these camera angles on the track. The one thing they did do correctly.
At least on this track, as we actually have some side-by-side action going on back here.
Yeah. That's not Jedlin. That's is that Jedlin? No, that's not Jedlin, is it?
No, that should be Dudek. I think the game is bugged out.
Dudek going right around the outside of trouble, it seems.
Wait, I think Jedlin may have selected the wrong livery.
Wait, no, hang on a second. I think
he's in Lewis's livery. I think he might have joined his team actually for Dudek.
Oh, that's a very late driver move, but a good one to still see that that Dudek's team, the Wingless Arts, is still looking to get points and bringing in almost like a reserve driver.
Absolutely, yeah. As we see Xavier still holding on in P3, not letting go of Boj, who has so far kept it pretty clean, hanging on to P2, which would be enough for him to win the championship. So all he really has to do this race is make sure that black and blue car behind him does not get in front of him.
Yeah, Xavius, though, you can see how much quicker it seems he is, as he is definitely gaining. Another person that is gaining is Kuku on Matt. So you can see, as they have a little bit of drift and go ever so slightly wide, but there's still in 5/10 of them. They're going to have all the slipstream and the DRS coming down this straight. Possibly, there probably won't be any moves coming into these next couple corners at the end of the lap.
Yeah, I've got to say, I noticed Cuckoo having a lot of rear end action on the first lap as well. I think they've gone for a very aggressive setup, potentially for a dry setup. So I wonder how that car is going to handle in the rain later as well.
Yeah,
As they get a phenomenal exit out of the final corner, really in Matt's slipstream, who seems
Matt's
to be quite
defending
slow and
going to the
straight. Going
right.
down the outside for turn 1.
Oh, that is really. That is absolute.
Oh.
That would have been an absolute amazing move if they pulled that around the outside. That was commitment.
Ballsy move there, absolutely. If only they could pull it off. Maybe going to try again on the next lap if they can keep Keza far enough behind. But we have lost 2 drivers already this race, I think.
Oh, probably from possible damage, as I think someone going into the pit lane and then also disconnecting possibly, or
I think one of the drivers we've lost is one of the Badura boys, which is unfortunate because 2 of them already couldn't make it tonight. And now we've lost the last one as well.
oh, that's really unfortunate for their team. Sadly, not getting any points today. The closest battle on track, I believe, is Daylau and Trouble. You can see Daylau gaining by an entire tenth going through that one of the corners. He's going to be absolutely trying to gain on Trouble. As Trouble goes wide, this will open the door for Daylau to try and make a move and try to get him possibly at the end of the straight. He's going to have the absolute slipstream coming all the way down this straight and coming into the B-Tech 130R. That's going to be absolute commitment. You can see Daylau getting a better run. He looks like he's going to have to try go for something. Oh, he's trying to go for the move. Trouble gives him space.
Oh, what a shot!
It's like the last Japanese Grand Prix where the green Aston Martin and the blue Alpine were going side by side, but Trouble was going all the way around.
Stick in turn 1.
That was really good defending by Trouble. I didn't know who was going to come out on top there.
Yeah, and especially in the final corner, they were millimeters apart, and they kept it clean. So hats off to them for that. Very, very nice racing. It's what we love to see and usually do see in this league. But Xevious, within about half a second of Boj, seems to have quite a bit of pace. I wonder if he's also gone for a dry setup.
I mean, yeah, definitely. It could also be that because we have been known for Boj going for more of one stops, even when it comes down to most things. Jedlin trying to get the car turned in through the spoon curve, and Ultimate K's looking to go for a move on Cuckoo. Can he do anything? Cuckoo not defending. Ultimate K is pulling to the right. He's going to have the inside going into this corner, but he's going to have to brake ever so slightly early to get the move. Oh, Cuckoo leaving him space, not really fighting it too much.
Yeah, I think Cuckoo wants to just kind of follow K's through the field, but considering their straight line speed, I think they definitely could have held that position if they so wished. But for a brief moment there, I said we had 3 cars fighting for P2, but I think that may have been a glitch. But Xevious has actually lost some time to Boj.
Yeah, you can see now Matt's all the way on the back of him, and the rest rolls an now reverse.
Trouble's off.
Ooh, that is really unfortunate for him in that green car. Laruti's going to have a really good opportunity as he also gets a bit of oversteer.
And the battles just keep coming. It's not over yet.
Yeah, Sakito
Cuckoo trying to get back at K's or potentially maybe eyeing up a move for the next straight, but still fighting that oversteer. The car seemingly not really cooperating with them.
Yeah, I'm fully guessing that they've taken a world record setup, no doubt, because they have the absolute pace, but the consistency seems to be a problem, because you can just see it's like every single moment they're fighting the car, and you do not want to bin it in the wall, especially this early on in the race. Cuckoo moving to the right, trying to pressure K's into falsely defending. And
Yeah, Case is not pulling away, so I think Cuckoo may have a better pace than they were initially expecting. Because I mean, they don't seem to be suffering from dirty air too much, but I can't imagine that this will be helping their lap times all that much as well. As Jedlin's made a mistake, and he's now at the back of the field, several seconds behind Laruti.
that's unfortunate for Judlin. However, due to I think enough people either disconnecting or sadly not being able to make this race, I think there are going to be points all across the board. As I hear the absolute follower sound, so thank you, whoever that was. And we come.
Ooh, Matt's fighting a lot of oversteer there, but keeping it on the road, so he lives to fight another lap at least.
So coming into this is now the 6th lap, and Fennec is absolutely behind Cuckoo.
Oh yeah, Cuckoo's made a mistake. They've lost a lot of time to K's, and that puts Fennec in the prime position to try and get them potentially into turn 1 with the amount of slipstream you get in these cars. And yeah, again, people not seemingly suffering that much from dirty air in the final corner, so definitely turns turn 1, which is normally not really the best overtaking spot, into a potential zone to make it happen tonight.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be, Cuckoo going a bit wide. That's gonna leave not as open as I thought it would leave it, but Fennec is now absolutely sniffing at their gearbox. And
take a closer look at said gearbox.
As we can see, the rear of that Jaguar Renault going around these corners. Matt's on the back of Xevious, and as well as that, you can see that Xevious, even though making that small mistake, has been gaining on Boj.
Yeah, Boj just does not seem to have the pace at the moment, but let's quickly check his fuel load. He's running 66. His rivals are running about 20 liters less, so that may just be down to the weight of the car.
I think possibly wanting to go till the rain part, but that is still a lot of fuel in the car, and that will definitely affect
we've
lap
lost
time.
another driver.
Well, that is very unfortunate to see, sadly. But we see.
I think it's Jedlin. Jedlin's out, and Daylau has suddenly lost a lot of. No, it's Dudek. Dudek's lost positions.
Oh,
he's lagging.
We're.
I think that might be it for Dudek. That is so unfortunate.
Oh no, both.
He even ended his stream early so he could race with slightly better connection, but it seems it wasn't enough to save the finale for him. Did Matt just lose his front wing?
Did I watch that correctly?
Mats is off the track without a front wing. That is a wounded car.
He went off the track and then he whacked the curb, didn't he? I was seeing that right?
I think it might have been an advertising board, but with the lag, it was a bit difficult to see. But yeah, Mats, unless a safety car is called, that may be it for him. Like not for a points finish, of course, because everyone who finishes tonight will score points. But if Mats was eyeing anything inside the top 5, I think those hopes are gone.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Fennec has not given up on Cuckoo just yet, and Cuckoo does not seem to be able to pull away from the black and blue car as it stands.
Yeah, Fennec gonna be hoping that Cuckoo's gonna be making a mistake, and we've seen how delicate you have to be with their steering wheel and their setup being probably one of the most aggressive out of all the current setups. You can see that.
Yeah, exactly. As even in clean air, Cuckoo seems to be struggling a tiny bit with that rear end, which is giving Fennec the amount of slipstream he needs to definitely have a look into turn 1, but I don't think there's enough to make a move there.
Yeah, you can see on the right, he was absolutely revving his limiter, so I don't think there was any more he could have given in that car. Xevious, though, a lot less pressure from behind, but now fully focused on Bode and is going to be trying to take away that second place from him, which would actually affect the championship and lose it for Bode if he loses this position. So Bode, I think, will be trying to defend this position massively, as there's
Yeah, this is a very high stakes fight, and I think what the Scuderia are going to want to do tonight is Keza, who's only 2 seconds behind Xevious at the moment, they're going to want to have him put a lot of pressure on Xevious as he suffers from some oversteer there. And yeah, the more pressure is put on Xevious, the more Boj might potentially be able to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, I do wonder because I think the only way that Xevious, oh, as we see Matt's in the pits, clear repairing from his farming, but I think the only way that Boj can lose this is whether he makes a crash, or if he crashes or gets overtaken by Xevious or maybe even his teammate. I do wonder if it does come down to between him and his teammate. I do wonder, will team orders come out?
Absolutely, absolutely they will. Because I mean, as a teammate, especially when you're no longer in the championship fight, you're gonna want to help the other guy in the other seat. So especially those two being personal friends, at least as far as I've been led to believe, I think they would definitely be using a little bit of teamwork tonight.
Yeah, led to believe. But yeah, you can see both drivers, especially Xavier, pushing to try either hold or take that second position.
Meanwhile, Matt is still in the pits. Has Trouble passed that corner? As
Oh,
Trouble is actually entering the pits as well. Does he still have a front wing?
that
Doesn't look like it.
his front wing has disappeared. Another
Oh,
front
that's
wing
really
lost to the.
unfortunate. And even though Trouble's pitting right now, he's actually lapping Matt. So no, actually, just coming within several meters of lapping Matt.
That is yeah, very unfortunate for Matt, as he is in last place and he will be out of the out of contention for fighting in that top group.
As we're currently on board with Xevious' front wing, getting a low to the ground perspective. As is that Matt's coming out of the
That
pits?
is Matt's coming out of the pits as well. That was actually perfect timing.
Yeah, Matt's being very, very considerate of the front runners there, staying out of that fight.
But yeah, you can see just how much quicker Xevious is taking more, and especially in dirty air, he's gaining, which is astonishing. The car does react a lot more different when behind another car, and it just very much unsettles it a lot more. Is that Ellie going slow?
That is Ellie without a front wing. That seems to be at least our third victim of the cars that are still running. I'm not sure what happened to the people who've disconnected as Ellie comes into the pits with a heavily crabbing car on top of the front wing was.
I feel like we should have done a safety briefing before this on where the start of the pit lane was. Because
Yeah, it is a bit confusing on this track.
Because I'm seeing a lot of people just follow the cones and then go, there's a gap there, well, I'll go in there. Because I do believe the pit entrance is actually, yeah, on board with the Xebia, so I'll be able to point it out just as we pass it.
As opposed to putting that outside curb there, it's very dead.
Just there. Going through the chicane, I think you have to.
Yeah, that is honestly a boneheaded location for a pit entry as Xevious is out.
Oh, Xevious trying to get moved. This will be for championship points. Will
Boj staying out of the way? Will he try and hold it around the outside? He gives up the position, maybe going for a switchback, or he's just gonna try and stay as close as possible so he can go for the overtake back into that position on either the next straight or heavy braking zone. But yeah, he's not gonna like this. Where is Keza? Keza is actually losing time to these two, so things are not going well for the Scuderia at the moment.
Yeah, the Ferrari master plan has once again been foiled, as the Xavier is going to try to make as big a gap as he can to Boj. I think Boj being on a longer strategy. I do very much wonder when the rain is going to come down as well, because whether people will have to be boxing again for like a second time just to hop onto wet tyres, or whether Boj will be longing it out, or maybe himself not having enough fuel. We see Daylau with only 4.7 litres. I'm going into the gravel, so I'm guessing he is going to be pitting this lap. I think he's had a spin because I don't see his car. Yes. Espinala has been committed.
But yeah,
But
it's definitely interesting with the whole fuel load question because, as you said, the rain coming is going to be massive for strategy because if you're running on low fuel now and you pit before the rain comes, you're effectively giving yourself a whole extra pit stop. So that's why we see Roman, for instance, on pretty much identical fuel levels to Beauge France, despite usually running quite a bit less fuel.
yeah, as well as that, I'm slowly starting to notice that the track is getting a bit darker from the clouds. So I think possibly the conditions being a bit more. Never mind. It clearly looking a bit more. So maybe the weather not as accurate as some may have predicted.
Never trust the weather predictions, but I do think I'm actually seeing some raindrops.
Raindrops. I I'm trying to look for some. I do not see any so far.
It may just be on certain parts of the track, but I think the rain will be coming soon.
Oh, that would be interesting where it rains on only a certain part of the track. That'd make it very interesting. Of course, the wet tire would still be a lot better and a lot quicker. And
As they allow pits for fuel.
I'm also looking at the timetable. Xevious is already 2 seconds in front of Beauge. It's going to be critical that that Beauge takes back that second place.
As yeah, I can confirm we have rain. It was obvious in the pit lane. Daylight was coming out. I'm not sure if he's gone for wet tires. If he has, it's too early, so not quite sure what's going on there. As he comes out right ahead of Trouble, I believe. But is he a lap down or is this for position?
I think Trouble is a lap down, and I think
Ooh.
the car behind Trouble is actually Xevious, the one of the main front runners in the battle.
Oh, Xevious is not going to like this one bit. This is one of the worst parts of the track to be stuck in someone's dirty air.
I'm actually seeing raindrops now. I am seeing raindrops on my screen. The rain's getting a bit heavier, it seems.
Oh, Daylau, what are you doing?
Very, very close. Oh, Beauge is not going to be happy with that.
Well. Ay, 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 ay.
Yeah.
Beauge has made his way past, but that's definitely not going to have been a very fun moment for either Xevious or Beauge. As let's take a look at Kaiser trying to do the same as well.
The stewards maybe not being a bit. Maybe we'll be having a look at that a bit later. You can see the raindrops as well, landing on the front screen. Oh, Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, Kaiser getting into Delau's dirty air there as the track is getting wetter. That's just. I'm not going to say a recipe for disaster, but you definitely have to watch out when the conditions start to change like this.
Yeah, you still don't want to pit too early, but at the same time, the track will be getting very greasy and you will instantly lose grip. I think for the people on the more... sorry. I got a bit confused. I thought, is he defending? But yeah, no, the conditions very much... probably the most dangerous conditions where it isn't just that crossover point yet, but it's obvious that there is water landing on the floor. I think Beauge actually has gained on Xevious massively. I remember last time I checked, Xevious was 2 seconds in front. I think maybe the heavier fuel load actually helping out, keeping more weight. Oh, Beauge almost touching the gravel there.
I'm wondering if this may be, I mean, of course, I'm not sure if he's actually gone for a more wet setup, but if he has, it could already start to be giving him an advantage here.
Yeah,
possibly. The track is only going to get wetter from here on out.
Yeah, I don't know whether ride height maybe does a thing, or maybe different cars have different ride heights. As Xevious having a massive tank slapper, this is going to allow Beauge to get a massive run on him. Is Xevious going to defend coming down this second main straight? Is Beauge going to be able to go around all the way around the outside? Oh my! What a move!
Right around the outside.
That was absolute. Yeah, and Beauge getting back into that crucial second place which he needs for the championship. That is going to be an absolute relief to him and an absolute joy for both him and his team.
Yeah, I think Beauge is going to be driving with a very, very big smile on his face after completing that move, but it's definitely not over yet. He's going to want to drive away as far from Xevious as possible and give himself that buffer in case something does go wrong so he can still win the championship on Roman, who's currently just pulling away 14 seconds ahead. Uncontested win here.
I mean, there's no stopping Roman, but well, except for the points positions and possibly a spin, which is very unlikely, but we have seen it before. So
Maybe next time we have one of these partially wet races, we should simply ban wets for the top 2 drivers.
I wouldn't complain. I would not complain. It'd make the championship a lot more interesting.
That is true, as yeah, Xevious is at the moment one of the only drivers who is occasionally triggering the proximity indicator. So the field spreading out quite a bit, and we're currently 3 cars down on what we started with,
I think
and I believe 3 of the remaining ones have also been lapped. So I think this is going to be a bit of an endurance type race.
yeah. On top
See
of
who can survive.
Boj is now 2 seconds ahead of Xevious, which is just absolutely insane. As you said earlier, maybe his car was set up for wet weather and maybe has that bit more extra downforce that easily gives him the turn. I mean, on top of that, we see K's as well. Yeah, maybe running the same exact setup, using it to its limits and being able to gain massively on Xevious. Maybe the Scuderia plan working after all, and going for maybe a different strategy than most drivers.
Yeah, I have been noticing, at least when Boj was chasing down Xevious, that he was taking very, very different lines. I think Xevious is using more of the track, so he potentially is. I mean, I just as Keza beautifully negotiates the second Degna corner. I believe Xevious may be either suffering from understeer or he's just afraid of turning the car in too sharply in these changing conditions.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is going to be very
As Dudek is in the pits, I think he may be the first car to switch to wets.
Let's see. I mean, they're ready with the tires. Will we see a tire switch? Yeah, the car goes up, and also for fuel as well. It seems as he goes all the way to the max amount of 103 liters, 0.9 of course, and a bit of damage as well. It seems to his car that's being fixed. But yeah, I think 110 liters, more like. But I think
Do
Dudek.
you see wet tires on your screen?
I see slicks. Might
Oh,
just
I
be
hope they've put on the right tires, because if this is not a visual bug, then Dudek is in big trouble.
as much as he might not be in a Ferrari, he would definitely be Ferrari'd.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. I mean, this game is just one big Ferrari moment sometimes.
But yeah,
Dudek's staying in the pits for a long time, actually, as Daylau has now come in as well. I'm not sure if that's a damaged car. It very well might be.
I definitely see that maybe a bit of crabbing there in his car. Yeah, definitely trying to keep it in a straight line. The rain as well getting a bit heavier, so possibly spinning or something to
Oh,
due to.
has something happened to Keza? Keza's gone off.
Oh yeah, Case has got maybe yeah losing. He's lost the position to Cuckoo. I don't know
Oh,
whether
I
he's
wonder if
got
he just
damage.
got too close to the car and just wasn't prepared for that dirty air or what. But yeah, I think he does have damage, as you mentioned. And Mats is in the pits now as well.
I think Case maybe should let that back marker by, because that is just going to be pure crabbing.
Yeah, as we're actually seeing some spray coming off of Trouble's car now. So I think this is the switching point for the wet tires. Yeah, that actually may be why he had a moment. He's still on those slicks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're most definitely not mistaken. He's still on those slicks, and I think most cars pitting now. I think Matt's as well. Yeah, Matt's one of the quicker drivers. Looks like they're pitting for the tires. Yeah, now as you say, the spray coming off the cars. So it's no doubt on these slick tires we're going to see aquaplaning. As we see K's take a very interesting line into the pit lane, but then again, this pit lane is probably the most confusing I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely.
I do wonder though, where will that leave him coming out? Because I don't think anyone ahead of him has actually pitted yet. So I think maybe K's maybe helping out his teammate to let him know whether the wet tyres are better, as we see Fennec suffering maybe from a bit aquaplane. You can see how slow and easy they're having to be on throttle, not even able to go full throttle.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that these drivers are still out here on slicks, because these do not look like dry conditions to me.
Yeah, they sound like it looks like it might be getting close to heavy, to be fully honest. Oh, as he completely drifts that. We're not watching Formula Renault anymore. We're watching Formula Drift.
As the leader is in the pits as well as Laruti, so these two sharing the same strategy it seems. Let's quickly compare fuel loads. Laruti's got a bit more in the car.
So I think possibly
As Boj, yeah, Boj also coming in, does not hit any cones on his way in as well.
followed by Ellie as well.
Xevious
And
coming in too.
so I think this is the crossover section where everyone is gonna be boxing.
Is anyone crazy enough to spend a whole extra lap on slicks? Oh, Cuckoo seemingly not crazy enough, but definitely crazy enough to go over some very nasty curbs.
Yeah, their green car wanting to touch the green.
As
That,
Finnick also coming in, that leaves I think that might be everyone.
I
I
think.
don't think anyone else hasn't pitted.
Oh my god! And you can instantly see how much quicker those wet tires are, and yeah, I can see the grooves coming on. That does hang on. That does lead me to wonder:
Dudek's had a spin.
Is Dudek on Those are slicks. I
Oh
don't think
yeah,
that
I
was a
think
visual.
he is on slicks.
Oh no, that is going to be race over for Dudek. He's been absolutely Ferrari'd. And it was worse than we thought. No, you can just see that it's going to be aquaplaning it. It's going to be absolutely horrible. Trying to get his way all the way back to the pits.
It's just not really been his season. I mean, he's managed to stay in contention up until the final race, which is honestly an amazing feat. But yeah, he's had his fair share of bad luck this season, and today is no exception. As there's actually a car going off there. Who's that?
I think that was Ellie, I believe. No, that is.
Wow.
He's lost the wing. Does he have the groove? I don't see. I think
No, he's also on slicks.
Also, I think we just completely overlooked the fact that Dudek is still going on those slick tires.
Oh my goodness, Dudek, you madman.
He is very much thought they're I guess he wants them to Cuckoo having a bit of a moment in front. Kay's definitely gaining and gaining and gaining. I remember Cuckoo having the more aggressive, and you can see that absolutely not working for their car anymore. You can see when they turn in, their car just coming back, their rear just coming out and just not having the necessary grip they need for these wet conditions.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate. I mean, in the rain, you do want a pointy car, but if it's just undrivable, then it's just better to go with stable setups. That is unfortunate to see for Cuckoo, as they've definitely had a lot of pace on more than one occasion this season. But yeah, that's one position less for Keza to work for. I think the next one up the road is Finnick.
Yeah, I think Kay's has shown us in qualifying that he's most definitely quicker than Fennec. Maybe not by too much, but definitely is going to be able to gain hopefully through these next couple laps, as we're got 21 laps left, as we are hitting the halfway mark as Kay's crosses the line there.
Yeah, and it's got to be mentioned as well, Fennec definitely not being any sort of slouch whatsoever, as he was actually catching Roman in the previous race for probably a good stint and a half, so that's not something that many drivers can say.
I mean, yeah, Fennec has showed us after time and time again that he does have very much the race pace to get to those top aliens and fight with them and be able to hold very much his own.
Is Daylau just rolling forward in the pits?
He's listening to the rolling song, rolling.
Oh, there he goes.
Hey, maybe having a bit of a cup of tea, or or maybe trying to dry his suit out. See,
So we see the safety car parked there beautifully, not disqualified on this occasion, and Daylau is parking up next to him, keeping the safety car company and revving that engine.
I mean, you know, both Renaults are sticking together as yeah, there it is, the safety car revving it back.
Getting a bit of a move on there as well, as there's actually a battle going on for P6.
Oh, just missed it. Oh.
Oh, that's Cuckoo with a dead car.
I think Cuckoo's car was probably the best one in the dry, but I think their rear wing probably not having the amount of downforce which they would want to have in these conditions. Definitely in dry conditions they would be top of the notch, but I think in these conditions it would be like driving on slicks. I can't imagine what driving on slicks would be like driving in the rain with this setup either, because
they're not pitting.
Maybe balancing out the downforce. If you don't have any downforce on the rear, no point in having any on the front.
Oh, Ellie's had a moment.
Ooh, I think
they're fine. I think it was just a spin at the Degna.
I think Ellie as well having a penalty, it seems. Whether that would go into contention, yeah, 10-second penalty has been given to Ellie, and I believe right now if the race were to finish like this, it would not apply. However, Mats is gaining and gaining, meaning I think that will eventually come into contention.
Yeah, definitely. If we look at their previous laps, Mats gaining a good 5 seconds on Ellie, so I'm not sure if Ellie had another moment on that previous lap, but Mats definitely looking good for a top 10 tonight.
Yeah, these
still hanging out together. As you can see, the safety car also activating their wipers, because as you all know, that simply makes the car faster.
Exactly. I mean, if you were to put this car on the track with all these, it would just be an easy win.
As Dave flashes his lights at the safety car.
The cops have been called. They are on their we do not condone
Ellie
flashing.
Is actually still close to trouble. It's about a second, that gap.
Oh, so Ellie definitely possibly going to be gaining on Trouble, and I don't know if I think Trouble actually, these two being former teammates from the last season, so definitely gonna have some nice close battling. Hopefully there isn't any rivalry between them.
We'll see an interesting battle once Ellie catches up, because I believe they do have the pace, as Cuckoo does finally come in to repair that damage.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just quickly have a look at their fastest laps. I mean, Ellie's PB is currently a 1:28, and Trouble's is a little less than a second off of that, so that's going to be their drive pace, but if it's an indicator for their current pace, I think that means that Ellie will be reaching Trouble soon.
I mean, you can see going through 130R, you can see gaining an entire 10th. And going down the main straight, you can see the absolute spray coming off of the back of Trouble's car, not affecting Ellie that much because they aren't that close yet. But when they get closer, it is going to get worse and worse.
And as you can see as well, these cars running DRS in the rain, so definitely a bit more risky than it ordinarily might be. As running DRS in certain corners can potentially make you faster, but it can also kill you.
Which is why this race is a lot more fun than the most Formula 1. Trouble going a bit wide and sadly losing that position to Ellie.
Yeah, as soon as you mentioned the word fun, I think Trouble decided to have a bit less fun.
Yeah. Oh, you can see as well, puddles are starting to form. Maybe not as bad as Spa, where we had the ship stop chicane. But I do wonder if any massive puddles will affect the drivers' braking zones and areas on the track that may cause cars to completely spin off and potentially whack into walls.
No, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if we see some more spins in the second Degna, because from personal experience, I like taking the curb in that corner, but when the curb is 5 feet deep, it's simply not going to work anymore.
Yeah, you have to almost create your own curb, your own line, and take Oh
Ooh, as Trouble is
my!
in fact creating his own line, but probably not the line he'd like to be taking.
Oh my god, that was a Max Verstappen moment right there. Absolutely holding it through that. That was, oh my god. Brown flags have been waved all across the track. That
Yeah,
was a very much a top tier save right there.
yeah, credit where credit's due. That could have been a very, very nasty T-bone into the pit wall, but Trouble kept it clean and lives to fight for another day. As yeah, Ellie doesn't exactly seem to be pulling away either. I think they're both struggling in these conditions, so it's gonna come down to who makes a mistake first.
Yeah, I mean, you can see actually Trouble gaining a bit. Oh, where most cars don't get the oversteer, Trouble seems to be getting that so it's like oversteer. Oh, Elliott ahead making a mistake and Trouble gaining massively within almost 5 tenths now.
Yeah,
But
this is going to be a great motivator for Trouble as he's getting closer and closer in the area where overtakes are a bit more feasible on this track.
you can see this absolute spray from the car ahead. Oh, they're both going.
Ooh!
Trouble going a bit deep. I thought Ellie was going deep as well. Ellie goes a bit wide, but I think that is the actual wet racing line now.
Yeah,
As
Trouble definitely almost. Oh, is
oh,
that Ellie off the track?
that was Ellie off the track. Ellie's whacked the wall. I think Ellie possibly getting dragged off by some of the dirt and not seeing the track or paying attention as much. Maybe
I
looking
mean,
in the.
I hope for Ellie that was lag, but yeah, if they got pulled off by some dirt or by the curb, that would suck immensely because I don't think that would leave them without damage.
Yeah, I mean we know how fragile these cars are. We were literally talking about it earlier. That will leave Ellie's car. I think that may be damaged because you can see how
Trouble's
much
going to
trouble.
move into turn one and gets it done at the very end of it.
What a what an absolute move. But I don't. Oh,
Oh, it's not over yet, but Ellie loses the back end and is off the track.
don't touch the billboards. She touched the billboard as
Oh.
well.
Yeah, Ellie's
Oh,
definitely reversing their way off the track. They're doing the safe thing and staying out of the path of oncoming traffic. I think it's okay to get back on now. Ellie, there you go.
also helping to clean
Chuku's
up.
off as well.
Oh, and Dudek. Is that Dudek?
That is Dudek, but I
Yeah.
believe he's a lap ahead of them.
I have to ask, is Dudek still on those slicks? I don't think that needs to be
Judging by
answered,
what
actually.
I think I just saw his car do, I would think so. But I mean, I honestly, I think he'd be in the wall by now if he'd still be on slicks.
Yeah, that's, quickly... I do want... Is he, let's see if we can check from behind. If he's on slicks, he's an absolute... Oh my god.
It may be a visual bug though. We're never really sure with this game.
I mean, you can see how much throttle he's putting in, though. He's, I don't think that is visual. I think that is... I mean, why wouldn't he pit, though? Maybe it is... We're gonna have to ask him at the end of this, of what...
Oh, absolutely. I'm really burning to find out the secret behind his current P7. But yeah, he's a bit in no man's land right now. If he pits or not, he's about a solid minute ahead of Mats and about a solid minute behind Laruti in P6. So unless something crazy happens, he's going to be finishing P7.
Wow, yeah, definitely gotta ask, dude. Oh,
Oh no, Ellie off the track again.
unfortunate for
Car just
the
not cooperating anymore.
for the pink car driver. I do love their livery, and sad to see it whack into a wall and lose its paint job as we see Dayla in the pits. Very much in I think Dayla in the biggest no man's land because the person behind him is the safety car, which is 24 minutes behind.
Yeah, I actually wonder, is Daylau going to score a full amount of points with the amount of laps he's completed?
Oh, how many laps has Dayla completed?
Daylau is on lap 18.
18, 18 out of 28. He is 10 laps down. I think there's definitely going to be some interesting discussions on whether you can go into the pit lane and just stay there. But I think, yeah, very interesting. It looks like, yeah, Ellie getting that damage repair as well as the tyres.
Ooh, going quite sideways out of their pit box. Ooh, you want to be careful in the pit lane, Ellie.
I mean, most of the time the pit lane having a lot more rain than most, since you wouldn't have the cars driving down it as often. I mean,
True,
with
but
the
I think it's especially being in first gear that's the main killer in the pit lane there. As Ellie comes out in 11th place, we've lost Dale from this race.
they the that's a shame. The driver in the pits, which we just saw, not Ellie but Dale, sadly not being able to continue. But something that is
Ellie may be trying to unlap themselves against Trouble.
I think Trouble should definitely consider letting Ellie by, as Ellie is. I mean, we were going to see these two battle earlier, but I think Trouble should very much let Ellie by, because it does seem that Ellie is very much the quicker
I
car.
thought you wanted chaos. Let Trouble defend.
Trouble, if you're listening, we won't give you a penalty. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm not.
Hashtag not legal advice.
Terms and conditions apply.
Be sure to read the fine print on page 420.
Yeah,
As Ellie currently reads the
oh!
fine print on the curb. Oh, that is not the racing line you want to be taking there, but somehow keeping it more or less in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen cars whack walls, but today we've also seen some quite amazing saves and some amazing drives. But as it stands as well, as much as Roman is in first place, I do believe the championship would mean that Boj is still going to win it, even though he is 18 seconds behind Roman, which is just bloody insane. I became super British there, but yeah, another group that I am actually seeing, I think K's maybe potentially gaining slowly on Fennec.
Yeah, he's about 1.4 seconds behind. He's not been making a lot of inroads, but gradually catching up there. I think on the previous lap, K's caught up by about 4/10 of a second. So if he can keep that up, we might be seeing an interesting battle developing here soon. But it must be said, I think Xevious is starting to get on Boj as well.
That would be interesting if Xevious and Boj fighting at the end. That would be very much. I feel like if Xevious would be able to take Boj on the last lap, I think that would be very, very like the most unfortunate thing. Maybe a long lifetime rivalry between them if that were to happen.
Yeah, I definitely
almost,
think that Boj would not be treating Xevious to a beer tonight if that were the case. But yeah, it's still all to play for. This race is not over yet, guys.
yeah, as you can see, yeah, K's now within the second of just coming out actually of hang back in K's within a second of Fennec ahead. He's, as you said, he's definitely been making inroads, and he's got a whole 12 laps to make a move and try to gain in that second. However, dirty air will still be a thing, and whether he'll be able to master the dirty air behind. You see him using a bit of counter steer. Is it counter steer? Yeah, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Going for that corner, and I think possibly losing a bit of time to Fennec. I think Fennec actually having
riding
more.
that outside curb there.
Yeah, I think Fennec. It looks like from when Kays is gaining, I think Kays maybe having more of a downforce setup, and Fennec getting away down the straights.
We've lost another driver.
Oh no,
That
means
is Ellie out of the race.
so we will only be having a top 10 finish. It's the first time we've had a top 10 finish this season. Oh, K's boxing. What?
Is he coming? Wait. Is he pitting for tires?
He won't be pitting for fuel, I'll say that.
Yeah, I think he might be coming in for tires. I wonder if he thinks he can undercut Fennec, but Fennec might just try and stay out on the one stop.
That's what I was thinking. I think it would possibly a one stop. So that, I mean, you can see the fuel load.
Though, so I'm not sure if he can make it to the end with 58 liters. We'll see.
I mean, we've seen K's not filling up. He's getting a new pair of tires on. Whether he thinks he can just fly and make that time up to Fennec. This is going to be an absolute interesting strategy move.
Yeah, there are only 12 laps to go, and if you want to make a strategy like this work, it's better to do it as quickly as possible, because otherwise you're going to run out of laps. But yeah, this game has generally not been very favorable towards undercut. So if he can make this work, that would be a very, very interesting development.
I think as well, choosing his moment really well correctly as he's come out 4 seconds in front of Laruti. And
Yeah, I think it's pretty close.
and maybe knowing when he boxed then that he wouldn't be fighting with them and would be able to just storm their way and slowly gain on Fennec.
As Laruti is about 3 corners behind K's, so yeah, if K's even has as much as a single spin, Laruti's gonna be there.
I really want to. So I do believe as well there is a in the league there is a one race that they take away from your score. Your lowest finishing point will be taken away to make it a closer finish, is what I've heard.
Oh yeah, I've always been a fan of that as a driver, because it pretty much bails you out from one bad race. But yeah, it definitely makes it a bit more difficult to calculate how the championship is going to swing.
Now I'm gonna quickly, because we are in the closing 10 laps of the race, and I am gonna be just seeing if I can look at the
As Dudek pits.
oh, do that damage? Maybe following
He seems fine. And Boj is pitting. Oh my goodness, Boj is in the pits. And Xevious as well. What is going on?
huh?
Oh, Xevious is almost out of fuel.
This has turned absolutely sideways.
I was wondering what would happen if Boj would go for a pit stop and Xevious would stay out, but there was no way that was going to happen with just 2 leaders in that car.
No doubt. That is absolutely insane. I would never expected to see pit stops, let alone this late in the race. That is going to be an absolute killer though for Xavier, since Boj not having to fill up his car at all. And
yeah, exactly. That pit stop was pretty costly for Xevious. He lost a decent amount of seconds refueling that car as Boj comes in just ahead of Fennec.
that means Xavier as well is going to have to try and fight his way past Fennec. And that means that I think Kay's potentially I don't know if Kay's going to be able to do it, but I definitely think we're going to see a battle between Xevious and Fennec.
Meanwhile, Xevious is still about 20 liters lighter than Boj, so I'm wondering if there's still some tactics going on there, as Fennec is letting Xevious through. Roman in the pits.
Oh, here we have the...
As well as his teammate, actually.
It would be really funny if this entire time we've been looking at it wrong, and there are actually punctures in this game. Imagine that would be absolutely
the big reveal after the game gets delisted off Steam.
Exactly, it does.
Developers secretly launched one final update that added punctures,
just to screw with this league, of course. Yeah, I'm just having a look.
As yeah, Laruti coming into the pits as well. Yeah, I think people's tires might just be dead, and I mean, if you can keep the car under control, it might potentially be better to just stay out. But if you're in danger of crashing, then yeah, absolutely come in and put on some fresh tires.
Yeah, exactly. You know, don't want to risk it.
P9.
I'm looking at the timetable on it. It looks like a Boj is within 9 seconds. I don't think we're going to be able to gain at all.
Oh wow, was his... Hold on, let me check those fuel loads. Yeah, Roman's put in some extra fuel into that car, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think Boj definitely had some sort of undercut there, because if they're pitting for tires, then Boj will definitely have gained at least some time.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, Xevious has brought the gap, I think, back down to 5 seconds. I think that's a little bit smaller than it was when they exited the pits. As I think that may be Laruti. Yeah, it's Laruti right ahead of Exevius.
Something
So
which
about to get lapped in P6.
yeah, something that I'm interested in is I think Exevius gaining on Bode ahead. I mean, he's got half the amount of fuel load that Bode has, and definitely that is going to go to his advantage, making the car a lot lighter, a lot quicker on throttle. But whether he'll
Yeah,
be able
he
to do it in
seems to be
these,
running quite a bit less fuel than pretty much everybody else around him. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough.
ooh, Exevius maybe going for the
Well,
risk.
as
Cause he,
Cuckoo Spins currently also carrying the most fuel,
yeah, Cuckoo.
really revving the crap out of that engine, but I think it might be for damage that they're coming in.
Yeah, hopefully not destroying his engine too badly.
Definitely still has a front wing. Maybe they're also coming in for tires. That's also entirely possible.
Yeah, so I have been looking at the driver standings right
But
now, and
yes, do tell.
if it is how it is right now, um, I think um, Bode will win by think 3 points. No, hold on, I gotta do maths. No, he will win by yeah, by 3 points actually. If the standings are, he will win by a whole 3 points, are just marginal.
That is an amazingly small gap after a whole season like this, but he's actually kind of catching Roman. I think he's taken about a second out of that gap in the previous lap, but then again, it seems to be like when you're on the straights, that gap just extends again, so I'm not sure if the timings are entirely accurate.
Something that I do find a lot more interesting though is if Bode were to actually finish third, he wouldn't lose. It would be a tie.
But then Roman would get the championship on the virtue of having more wins this season.
Oh, very much, yeah. So, oh my, so yeah, maybe it very much stacked is
Into
stacked.
Roman's favor.
Yes, when it comes to the tie, but that does mean that Bode is going to have to somehow make a mistake, and I think he's definitely going to be trying to be a bit more easy and get through these next laps cleanly. And
I don't know about that because Boj is picking up the pace. He's taken out quite a chunk of time out of Roman, and Xevious is not following. He's still going at pretty decent pace, but about a second slower last lap.
ooh, it'd be really interesting to see both these championship rivals fighting. This
I
like
think that's Xevious pitting for tires.
that's
I saw them moving
Fennec,
some slicks on the ground. Oh yeah, Fennec. I mean, sorry.
I
Wait,
think.
that puts Fennec behind Keza. I wonder if there was some sort of incident.
Possibly by a mile as well.
No, that's definitely not what Fennec would have wanted to see, but Keza, good half minute behind Xevious. I don't think he'll be able to interfere much with that fight, unfortunately.
Yeah, as we are heading now into the final. I believe this is the sixth lap. Yeah, the sixth lap. As Roman has crossed the start-finish straight, so we are going to be if we are going to be looking for some moves, we are going to be expecting some late ones. But the field right now being very much spread across the entire track, and not maybe not having as much close battling. However, that doesn't mean we will not be expect any spins, and that means other people could definitely get into the contention. Yeah, I think you're right, definitely though. But that boat is pushing, and is he's extended his gap from 5 seconds to 7 seconds, getting close to 8. Something that I have just noticed is that we do have a river forming on track.
Oh yeah, there's one.
I think there's yeah, because I think that's the second river I've seen. And they're just so dangerous, because the thing is, you can't dodge them either. You have to go straight through them and hope that your car doesn't go the wrong way around. The
Oh
puddles.
yeah, it's even worse at tracks like Bugatti Circuit or Classic Hockenheim, because I remember I once did a race at Classic Hockenheim in the rain, and you could legitimately not drive the car faster than 80 kilometers per hour without spinning out. And on Bugatti Circuit, going onto the back straight, there's this lake that forms across the entire track, and it's actually safer to take to the grass and avoid the entire track rather than just take the normal racing line because of
Yeah,
all of the standing water.
there's that is absolutely atrocious. And
But yeah, looking at the pace right now, I think Boj caught Roman on the previous lap. Roman's, however, extended his gap a bit on this occasion, but yeah, 133.7 for Roman, only 3 tenths down for Boj, but Xavia's not having the best of laps. I think he might be suffering from dirty air coming from the car of Laruti ahead of him.
yeah, I think that very much being a thing. I don't know if I think Dudek possibly still being on those slick or very.
Oh no, Dudek is
Oh
in fact
yes,
showing on wets this time.
he didn't pit, did he?
I'm not really sure, but I don't think the game would switch his tires if he hadn't pitted. So he may well have come in. He basically had a free pit stop as well because there's just simply nobody around him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe trying to go for fastest lap. As much as I don't, as much as I don't think there's any points for it.
Well, on the previous lap, he was actually driving at the leader's pace, just like Matt's behind him. This lap has not been his best, but he's not going to be setting any fastest laps because those will have been set at the start of the race before the rain came. And I just want to take a look actually at who's got the current fastest lap. Roman's got a 25.7. I don't think there's any other 25s on the grid.
The closest one is Matt's with a 25.9. So an entire 2 tenths.
Oh yeah, the two teammates there being pretty dominant in the timing sheets, but Matt's definitely not having as much to show for it as he would have liked down there in P8, unfortunately. But Xevious has dropped about 10 seconds behind his rival in P2. So if Boj can simply keep this on the track, I think he's got this championship in the bag.
Yeah, definitely. We should be well, coming into these last few laps now, and the sun is actually starting to set, so it's getting quite cinematic, I must say. We might actually see.
With weak graphics cards will be crying right now.
I think, as much as Ferrari haven't been able to do it for this Formula One season, we would definitely see some maybe a Ferrari winning the championship for this Formula Renault League. So as Roman has crossed, Boj now crossing the line for the third last lap, I believe, and is 10 seconds ahead of Xavier. So there's going to be absolutely no pressure. He's just going to drive it cleanly, and if he can make it around, then he can hopefully win this championship and not be able to mess it up.
Well, one thing I can say for sure is Boj is not taking it easy whatsoever. He's still gaining on Roman, setting faster laps than I think anybody else at the moment. He's currently the fastest man on track.
Wow.
So he's not thinking I need to bring this car home. He's thinking I need to win this race.
As much as he might have the points in the bag, still he wants more. But yeah, definitely wanting to get higher in the higher in maybe points, and maybe wanting to maybe even certify it more. I am noticing actually that a lot of people are taking a wide line going into corner 14, the spoon curve, when we just saw him go around that, and I don't know if that is probably due to a wet line or not. you can just see the absolute. I love that camera angle. I have fallen in love with that camera angle where it just hovers up as the car flies by. But yeah, as we see Boj now looking to now overtake a back marker. I wonder, hopefully they'll give him room. He's gone down the inside. I was very, very
Yeah, that's Cuckoo there.
I was very close. I'd be scared if Cuckoo turned in on Boj, and that would have absolutely destroyed his plans of winning, because Exevius, as much as he is 10 seconds behind, damage very much affects these cars severely.
Yeah, I think that even if he managed to somehow sustain damage, I think he'd just continue on until the end of the race and just cling on for dear life, because pitting now means losing the championship. So whatever the case, I think he's going to keep on pushing until the very end of this race.
Looking at it, I believe Exevius as well actually having a time penalty, and possibly that will put a lot of pressure off of, even more pressure off of Boj's back, as another 10-second penalty has been issued. And I wonder, does that bring Ultimate K's into contention between them?
I don't think it doesn't. I mean, as much as it would be great for the Scuderia, he's just simply too far behind at this point, which is definitely a bit of a shame, because if you look at their pace on the last lap, they were within just 300ths of each other. So I think if they'd been close, that would have been quite the fight.
Yeah, Roman now now on the last lap and going through the first sector for the final time in both project cars and on this track in general. It's going to be very sad to see this game go as we come around for the final race as well of the league and of this of the MSR league as well in general, as we will be moving to Automobilista and saying goodbye to project cars. But we've had, as much as we've only had, I think this is the third league in it, they have been absolutely close racing every single time. You know, we've had new people, we've had people coming back,
people.
And and it's been what an amazing championship it's been. I definitely think these at the start we would have thought that the Winged Hussar team with Dudek and Lewis would have been in for the winnings, but no, I think it would have either been Roman and Matt's team or the Scuderia team.
As he comes around the final corner for the final time, and he's done everything that he needed to do to try and win this championship. Boj only 6 seconds behind, could be taking it here. Unless he disconnects on the final few meters, this is going to be his championship win.
And yeah, it is Boj who takes the championship. What an amazing, amazing championship he's had. And Exevius as well, about to cross the line to take that third place. Hopefully doesn't have any mistakes to allow Kays to get into that mark. As we see,
the safety car has flipped and lost some bodywork.
Yeah, definitely. The safety car, definitely one of the best parts of this league, and what an amazing. Must thank Eisenshank for always for helping us out and for providing us with the amazing experience of a real safety car. As we see Boj doing his victory donuts, knowing that he has won the championship, and what a championship it's been. Honestly, we've seen really close battles, we've seen crashes, and we've seen amazing saves both this race and all races. What a way to finish the season.
Yeah, absolutely, and this proves as well that even if you've got certain aliens in the league, the results aren't always predictable. And I think a lot of people thought that Roman had this one in the bag, but Boj came here tonight to prove them wrong.
Yeah, so as we look at the championship, as we look at the standings, we see Roman finishing first, Boj finishing second, and Xevious taking that third place. But it is going to be Boj, as much as he was 6 seconds behind, he's going to take the championship and win it for, I believe, Scuderia as well, because they were also ahead in the constructors. So I think also finishing the constructors. So I think Kays and Boj both going to be absolutely happy about this race, and going to be absolutely happy with how this season's gone, and happy of how it's ended as well.
How far do you think the championships gap is for the teams?
I gotta check now, because last time I checked, it was it was surprisingly close.
Oh, then Mats may well be kicking himself for that result, because P8 was he definitely had more in that car tonight.
Yeah, looking at the let me just see if I gotta get rid of some things. There we go. So yeah, looking at the team standings, the oh no, I think Scuderia have actually overtaken VR46 Racing Team, which is Roman's and Mats's team, and I think they might actually take the constructors. There's a 7-point difference between the two rivals, and looking at the standings and the points that will be awarded, I think very much Mats might be kicking himself, as they may have actually lost. I think it's going to be very close. I'm going to wait for the official results from the owner themselves to get the confirmation, because I don't trust my maths too much, especially if it's for the championship. But what an amazing race it's been. I'm definitely gonna message someone to ask them if they can quickly calculate that for me. But
Absolutely.
oh my god, what an absolute amazing race! What an amazing championship! We had absolute dramatic moments where we had people having massive tank slappers, people going around the outside of 130R and the first corner, which is finally enough called first corner. And yeah, it's been amazing season, and Project Cars, yeah, also providing the best entertainment, which yeah, for racing. I hope that Automobilista has the same camera controls and the same most things as Project Cars, but hopefully.
One thing I hope it doesn't have is this 2-second lag that Mats is mentioning in the chat, which he says killed his race.
No.
So he may have crashed there due to a lag spike.
Let's I really do wonder whether we're gonna be able to see those results soon. I'm gonna quickly try and see if I can grab anyone from the, if anyone's in the VC. Oh my god, yeah, we got 4 people all ready to go for interviews, and
let's go ahead and bring in our champion.
Yeah, our championship winner.
Boj, congrats!
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, what an amazing race!
Managed to complete it and had a battle with a lot on the line there.
Yeah, so that was a fun race indeed, and a fun league in total as well. So yeah, really happy about the race and the league in general, and yeah, it's been some nice racing overall, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we absolutely love to see it and commentate over that as well. Can you tell us a bit more about that battle you had with Xevious? Because you guys passed each other on more than one occasion.
Yes, so I was trying to make my setup to be better suited for the wet than the dry. That apparently cost me a lot of tire on the first stint in the dry, so I had to watch my tires a bit, and that made some battling opportunities for me and Sevius. So at one point I just thought that I cannot keep this pace, so I need to slow down. He passed me, and yeah, so bit of strategy going on as well.
Yeah, did you think that it was over when Xevious overtook you, or did you think, all right, my car's set up for the while, I'll get him back?
Yeah, more towards that one, I think, because I was just saving it so that I could go in early and yeah, give it everything in the wet, which was my plan from the beginning, to try and make it, yeah, make my pace the strongest when it was wet.
Yeah, and I believe, yeah, you did pull away by quite a bit at the end, and you were catching Roman at a pretty decent rate as well. But I think during at least one of the other stints, I think Xevious was also catching you again. Were you thinking he might catch you and turn that into another fight, or did you think it would just be a matter of time before the tires would wear again?
Yeah, I think it was all about the tire wear. Felt that the distance was under control for most of the race, except the one time where he passed me. That's when I kind of gave up. I can't keep up this pace, but yeah, it was. Me and Renee was on the team speak together, and both of us was just gonna push it everything because we could see some water drops. So we pushed everything, and then we went to the pits. But Sevius was hanging on for all the time, really.
Yeah, exactly. He never quite gave you a break. I mean, you were always pretty much within a single spin of losing the championship, so you held on and took it right at the death of the season. Can you tell us which race you enjoyed the most this time around?
Ooh, I think that might have to be Monza, actually, because there were so many passings all the time, so much back and forth, some mistakes, and yeah, a lot of them turn one, for instance.
Yeah,
So
still
that
remember
was,
that one.
yeah. So I think that was the best one. It was quite nerve-wracking at times.
Yeah.
And do you think you'll be able to have very similar battles in the next game, or do you think it'll be even better?
I'm not quite sure. I, as of right now, I don't feel too comfortable with that game. I cannot. I feel I cannot push the car and control the car just as I can in PC2. So it will be an uphill struggle, but I'm sure it will be a fun one. So, but I think in general it looks to be a bit closer than in PC2. You don't have those insane gaps that you can get in PC2 when people practice and train a lot. It becomes more visible, of course. But I'm hopeful for the racing in Amos too.
Yeah, absolutely. Nismo, do you have any more questions for our freshly crowned champion?
Um. Well, yeah. First of all, yeah. Congratulations. Another question. I've been trying to calculate it for the last. Sorry, I've been so sorry. I've been trying to calculate for the last, God knows how long. Of whether you actually might have overtaken, Roman and Matt's teams, the VR46 team, in the constructors championship as well.
Oh
Because
yeah.
looking at the results, you were only 7 points behind, and sadly, Matt's having that 2 second lag thing may have caused him to drop down enough to allow you guys to actually steal on the last race the constructors from them. So
Ooh.
I'm probably gonna make sure with Rene just in case, because I really don't trust myself. But if I'm gonna say either so close, or congratulations. I can just cut that in the video. But yeah, either way, it was such a close constructors. As much as Roman wasn't there for like the first couple races, and you weren't there for I think the second race. It was
Yep.
so mighty close between both teams, and you showed such what's the word I can't think of it now.
Determination?
That's it, determination. Exactly, read my mind.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
that would actually be very exciting because I think both me and Renee has had some struggles through different races. Renee at Spa, I didn't attend Monaco, Monza for me, so that would actually be very cool if we could get close or maybe even beat them.
yeah,
So
exactly.
that's a mighty team, Roman and Mats.
I honestly, going into this championship, I thought that they would have completely destroyed the field, but then I saw the winged hussars of Lewis and Dudek, instantly first I think race, taking charge, and I thought, oh, is this going to be a lot closer? And then your team instantly brings it back, takes all the points, and you just rise up out of the ground like a statue, and you're going to be claiming that that championship championship
Yeah,
trophy. That's it. I'm really struggling with words. Yeah. So honestly, though, what an
I'm.
amazing race, and hope that you won both the constructors and the well, you have won the championship. But yeah,
Yeah,
best of luck for the points to be finally counted.
yeah. Well, thanks. That would be exciting indeed. So thanks again for commentating. Very exciting stuff. You guys are really good together, I have to say. So looking forward to the future.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Appreciate the feedback, and yeah, we're looking forward to seeing more action on your part as well. So good luck for next season.
Thank you. Good night, boys.
Good
Have a good night.
night.
So
Now, let us bring in the man who made this championship fight go down to the wire. Let's bring in Xevious.
something that I've also just realised is just as Voges left, funnily enough, the points have been changed, and it was mighty close by 2 points. VR46 Racing Team take the lead and win the constructors. So as much as they didn't win the championship, they managed to get both the points and take that for the team. So yes, let's bring in Xevious though, and have a talk about him and his battles.
Xevious, welcome and congrats on that P3. You made this championship fight go down to the wire. How did that battle feel on your end?
Well, it was a lot of fun, and thank you. Yeah, it was a very, very fun race to drive, and I think it was in the end kind of poetic that it ended on a sunset.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with this game's graphics, it looked quite nice, especially if you have a beefy or computer on the beefy side. But tell us what you were thinking after you'd made that overtake on Boj. Did you think you'd be able to keep him behind you for the rest of the race, or did you think it'd be a bit of a back and forth from that point onward?
I think I could have held them at least until we would have switched to the wets, but yeah, then after that it would have been, I don't know, I couldn't have guessed, because I think I wasn't sure if what strategy he was gonna use, if he was gonna try and maybe get the tires to go all the way, or if he would like me pit once to fit new wet tires. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, it was fun to watch as well. And can you tell us a bit about what you did to your car? Did you set it up more for the dry or more for the wet?
Well, I don't know. I had a pretty good setup for the dry that I was really comfortable with, and that I could go really fast, which I think showed in qualifying. And but just a bit of I softened the front anti-roll bar a bit and lowered the tire pressures for the wets, and that was it. The car felt pretty good. It was controllable, and the little bit of understeer that was in the car, I could drive around it. It wasn't that bad.
And did you feel like dirty air was ever an issue in this race?
Yeah, yes, definitely. And it was in the first corner. I felt, even though we weren't going that fast, I could still feel it. And that at that point, I was like, okay, this is gonna be like the air is really, really dirty over here, so I'm gonna have to take it carefully. And yeah, 2 corners, 3 corners later, I saw Keza understeer because of dirty air. and just took it nice and slow and slotted in behind the Boj and started chasing. But especially after my second pit stop for my second set of wet tires, I came out behind, I think it was Larudi or somebody, and because of dirty air, I just couldn't get close enough for blue flags. It was terrible.
Yeah, we definitely noticed that first sector was really annoying to navigate through when you've got a car not only putting dirty air in front of you, but also just spraying the
Yeah,
contents of the track all over the place. So yeah, that must have been a bit of a less fun part of the race, but overall,
honestly,
I think everybody enjoyed watching you guys duke it out until the end, basically. Because even if there was a bit of a gap forming towards those final few laps, he was still only about one spin away. So
yeah, honestly, first sector wasn't that bad. The only really bad thing about the first sector was that puddle that was across the track, which unsettled the car. But to me, the worst part was Spoon Corner, uh, especially with dirty air, because then the car wouldn't be going into it. You would get some oversteer or understeer, and then the car wouldn't be perfectly planted to get a really good exit for the long straight that came after it.
I mean,
absolutely, and I think we also saw you take that outside curb in that corner quite a few times. Did the car feel okay doing that, or was that a bit of a dangerous move? Do you think?
No, it was really on the edge. Like every time I went onto that curb, I tried to like either go out wider or go in tighter. Doesn't matter if I had to slow down. I just didn't feel comfortable going onto the accelerator on the curb.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the more deadly curbs in the game, and yeah, for the people who haven't driven these cars or at least driven in this game, a lot of the curbs simply pull you off the track if you're giving them giving the car as much as even the
Yeah,
tiniest bit of throttle while on the curb.
I think the worst one on this track might be the outside curb in turn one. If you put a wheel over the curb, you're going out. You're not making the corner. It's terrible.
Yeah, I'd say turn one around the outside and 130R around the outside is pretty terrible as well. At least when track limits are turned on, because I don't think I've ever gone wide or at least touched the curb there without getting a penalty.
Thankfully, these cars can take 130R fully flat, no issues. So it was pretty easy. Even in qualifying, I'm pretty sure you could take 130R with DRS open.
Really? Okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
another thing that confused me in the race was towards the final closing stage, we saw a lot of people actually pitting, yourself included, as well as Boj, pitting, I believe, for tires and for fuel. So was that more of a strategy, or was that a last minute call in? Because I would
no, I planned that because I knew that the wet tires wouldn't really last unless I did a lot of a lot of tire saving, which I didn't want to do. I just wanted to go flat out, so I just took less fuel on that first pit stop, took wet tires, and yeah, on the second pit stop it was the same, new set of wet tires and some fuel to go to the end.
yeah, definitely something that was interesting as well as Boj during that race. Um, you were definitely quicker during the dry section, but through that race, Boj always had like either double or like 20 liters more fuel than you. And I was wondering, um, is it that when the car got lighter in the wet weather, did it make it even more unstable, or did it make it feel a bit more planted?
I wouldn't say there was much of a difference, to be honest, at least for me. It felt pretty much the same.
Yeah, that's because we saw, I think you were gaining quite rapidly on Boj, and we were looking because we were thinking your car's almost identical, and then we're like, you got 20 less liters and you're gaining massively, and it was quite a spectacle to watch both of you and Boj battle, especially since his championship was involved as well. So that was absolutely awesome. A lot of drama on the track as well.
Yeah, I think that might have been because he may have taken more fuel for the first stint, where I took a bit less because in my experience, the rain in Project Cars 2 basically comes earlier than the halfway point in this case. So
Yeah.
I took a bit less fuel. So when I came into the pits for the first time to change to wets, I had one lap of fuel left.
Ooh,
So
so cutting it
it was.
extremely close.
I'm gonna call it well calculated, but yes.
Absolutely.
What an amazing drive though. I mean, our next league is going to be in AMS, Automobilista 2. How much are you looking forward to driving in a new game and well, very close physics, but ever so slightly different?
Much better physics. Yeah, I'm very, very excited about that.
Yeah, definitely. Automobilista having less explosive physics. I put it that way. When you touch a car, you don't all of a sudden get flung.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's good to hear that you're happy for the next league. That
You're not getting rid of me that easy.
but
Yet, at least.
yeah, so I think I might also be commentating for that league as well. So hopefully I will see you up in these high positions as well. And yeah, what an amazing season you've had, and you've dragged yourself. You had some dodgy moments at the start of the league, but
Oh, I had some terrible races.
you've absolutely dragged yourself back out and proved that you are one of the quickest drivers in the Formula Renault car.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's Aman. Unless there's anything you want to say.
I'd say I got one last question for Xevious. Which race do you think you'll remember the most after this season?
I don't know. Spa was a lot of fun. Yeah, this Suzuka was also a lot of fun. I don't know. The other races were kind of either I threw away a good result or I had technical difficulties. So yeah, maybe I'll probably remember the preseason race that I actually won.
Yeah, that was a very preseason was quite amazing. A lot of people had a lot more time to practice.
Maybe we should just do a whole season of preseason races.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea.
Yeah, well, after every single league, we're gonna count up the scores to one massive league table. But yeah, what an amazing race though. And we are well definitely hope to see you, especially since you said yeah you're gonna be looking forward to it. I hope to see you in the next league in AMS.
Thank you, and thank you guys for broadcasting this. Those streams are always a lot of fun to watch back.
Really happy to hear that, and it's a pleasure to watch you guys at work. So keep that up for the next one.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
All right,
All right.
good luck and good night.
Yeah, see ya, guys.
Okay,
Now,
so
let's see. Who else do we want to interview? Kays is left the ready for interview, which is
no.
might try and pull him in later. But yeah, let's
I think
I'll
I
give you the
do
pick for this one.
that.
Dudek is not in there.
He's not in there. Sorry, I mean I was thinking of Cuckoo, because they had a very interesting race, I believe. So, yeah, let's bring them in. Hello, hello.
Greetings, Cuckoo. Can you hear us?
If I start waving my hand, do you think they'll react?
Cuckoo is typing. I wonder if they're having mic issues.
No. If I
Cuckoo says they're thinking of that SpongeBob clip. You're good, you're good, you're good, and stop. Cuckoo, you are live. Speak to us.
God.
How about we drag in Trouble and see if
Okay.
Cuckoo wakes up in the middle of that interview?
Yeah. It's actually like a cat or dog that's typing on the keyboard right now. In the
Cuckoo has been
impersonation.
dragged out of their chair.
All right, let's drag. Fennec had a really good race. Let's drag him in.
Rightio. Fennec,
Hello.
I just saw that picture you posted. How on earth did you keep it out of the wall?
Okay, well that was trying to turn back around from spinning. So I didn't park that close to the wall. That was how close I got.
You can't park there.
Yeah,
What
no, I
lap
didn't
was
park there. I
that?
parked somewhere else. Still not in the right place.
Yeah. Well, what a really good race though. You're trying to go for the alternate strategy towards the end of the race. And you tried to did you try to stick it out on those worn wet compound tires? I believe.
Well, I stuck it out until lap 35 because I didn't do any testing to see how bad tire wear was. And I didn't know it was going to be that bad, so I ended up just like I saw the others pitting for tires, and I was like, they'll probably last a bit longer.
So
Yeah.
did you end up
Yeah,
pitting
they
for?
was. I waited 5 laps and then they were gone, so just
Ah.
pitted.
So did you end up pitting to make the car more stable or simply to be faster?
To be faster, to make it more stable, reduce the chance of anything going horribly wrong.
Yeah, so to keep it out of
So,
the
I mean,
wall, basically.
By pitting, I knew I'd probably lose one position guaranteed, but not lose any more than that because the gap behind that is massive. But then, if I put it in the wall, I'd probably lose more than that. So I just thought, why not pit? Must say, it
Yeah.
was more fun. I could actually push the car.
I mean, yeah, we saw you having a lot of battles. I think I do recall seeing you battling with K's at one point, and possibly Xevious as well. So maybe I'm wrong.
I had K's chasing me. I came out between Doge and Xevious after their pit for tires. And then that didn't last long because I made a small mistake on a puddle and went slightly wide, and they both got away from me by a few seconds. So
that's
that
unfortunate.
wasn't exactly much of a battle. My main one was with Mia.
That's it, Mia. Yeah. Who's actually in the voice corrector? We're trying to get them to.
Yeah, I know. One thing that was interesting about that battle is, turns out she had lower downforce than me, so it made it quite. I couldn't quite get her on the straights, and Dirtier was bad.
Yeah.
Like, I was counter steering so much. If you'd been watching me, you would have just seen basically permanently sideways.
Mia, from watching Mia's point of view as well, we definitely noticed they had a lot less in the wets. They were quick, fast. They were on it. But as soon as they hit the wet part, they it's as if they didn't have a rear wing at one point, and it was
Okay, I know the reason for that. If they come back, they'll probably tell you.
Okay. That's if they don't, then you're gonna have to give us a sneak peek.
We'll see.
But yeah, though, what an amazing race. And I think you end up finishing. Gotta think now. Gotta use my brain. Fifth. I'm gonna go
Yes,
with fifth.
fifth.
Yes. Ow, I whacked my head. Now.
Same place I started, which is good.
Which is, at least you didn't lose places. But you're definitely still up there with the start fight. And going
Well,
into the first corner,
in terms of position, yes. In terms of gap, not quite so much.
Going into the first corner, I did notice that there was a small smoke screen that got deployed.
Oh yeah, I've got no idea how there wasn't a safety car. I don't know how I didn't get hit.
I was
I went slightly wide, hit the curb, and it just went 90 degrees to the track.
Yeah, so that was. Wait, was that you?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, Fennec was down in P9 at the end of lap 1, I
Oh
think.
my.
Yeah, because I
What a
went sideways,
recovery.
and I was amazed no one hit me, and I basically just made sure everyone got through and didn't I didn't collide with anyone. Was trying to get back in the correct direction.
That's always good to do then, rather than Grosjean doing a Spain Grosjean and spinning it back onto the track.
Yeah. Well, I've got
Um,
no idea how Mia and Max managed to keep it out of me, like not hit me, because they were like right behind me. So
I mean,
they
yeah,
managed to go either side of me, which is quite
corner 1 as
impressive,
well.
honestly.
Yeah, corner 1 and 2 definitely. Everyone's going to be bunched up, and one mistake caused an entire traffic jam of cars. And well,
Well,
thankfully you were behind
except
the
for
wheel.
apparently you didn't.
Exactly.
I've got no idea how.
It's got to be it's not the car, it's the driver. Doing a bit of quoting Top Gun
Sure.
there, but
Sure.
sure. Come on, give yourself a bit of credit. You're too humble.
No, not in that situation.
But still though, what making it back from 9th all the way back to 6th is still an accomplishment. That's basically like starting from 9th and making way up, and that is
I think who was it? I got past. I think Larusi was ahead and had an issue. I managed. Ellie made a small mistake and I got past. Dudek managed to hit a brake board and get a small amount of damage, so I got past him quite easily. And then Mia, I got past in the pit, and then she started having issues after that.
Yeah, I mean,
So, and then back to where I started with the same people ahead as
Exact-
before.
um,
And actually, Matt's had the lag spike.
yeah, that changed a lot of things.
Actually, I think Larusi was behind me at the start. I think it was Matt's that was ahead at that point.
If that lag
obviously it went
spike was
wrong
any
thing.
bigger, or there was another car behind Matt's, I do believe that K's the Scuderia team would have actually taken the championship away from VR46 Racing. You know, Roman and Matt's team, which would have been very, very interesting. But luckily, Matt's just getting enough points to certify that win and get there. So, but still, what an amazing race by you, climbing yourself. Well, first of all, I can't believe it was you though. There's no way it was you. And then you climbed your way back up all the way from 9th, because that was a serious.
Well, I had help. Other people had issues. So
The Project Cars 2 gods were on your side.
yes.
But,
I mean, as the image getting that close to the wall showed, the Project Cars 2 goals were definitely on my side.
but
Just
yeah.
like Fate had it. I think I need to put 200 as my car number for next year or next league because I got 84 points and my number's 84. So if it's gonna keep going that way, I think I need to increase my number.
I like that mentality.
But
I don't think it will. I think that would be pushing it too far, but
still,
it would be
yeah.
lovely if it worked like that.
Well, Fennec, I still have the typical end of season question for you. Which race do you think you enjoyed the most this time round?
Oh, that's a good question. Ooh. Well, I wasn't at the first one. Silverstone game crashed. Kota, the first half wasn't all that great. So it's between this one and then Monza and
Monaco.
what are the other two? Oh, yeah, there's Monaco
Spa.
and a Spa. I think it's gonna have to be between Spa and Monza.
Oh,
Which was the most fun?
I think a lot.
Interestingly, the two long races.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the long ones were especially interesting strategy-wise as well, because like even if you make a mistake, if you've got the pace to make up for it, you have the time to make up for it too. So it's not like this race where you make a mistake and then you're a minute behind and there's no saving it anymore. And especially if there's like a potential for safety cars as well, that just throws everything back into the mix. But yeah, I think you had some pretty good pace in those races.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say Monza. Trying to catch Roman at the end, I think takes the cake for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if there will be any more Monza races in the future, if it's in this game or if it's in the next, I think you'll definitely be looking to take it to the next level and finish ahead of the Maestro himself.
I mean, that's the aim, but we'll wait and see.
Well, coming into AMS2 now, because there is going to be a vote between certain classes. If you had to pick a car to race in Automobilista, which car would you have to pick if it were to be on the league? What would you choose to drive?
As in which car in the game I'd pick to have a league in? Is that the question?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I haven't tried enough cars. I don't think. I'm gonna say the small Camaro thingies. They seem fun.
Yeah. I mean, were you there for the fun event as well?
Which one is this?
The recent one.
In the
MSR League.
Copa Classics or?
Yes, Cove Classics, yes.
Yeah, I was there for that one.
Yeah, no, of course you were. Didn't you
they're quite
start?
fun.
You started. Yeah, you started. You were in a mini, weren't you?
In the first one, yes, but I changed each race.
Oh, that's yeah. But yeah, definitely though some There's a lot. As much as it doesn't have the variation of project cars, I think Automobilista definitely has the better physics and the better maybe track climatization settings and stuff. But yeah, still like one amazing race. I've got to let you go now because, as Trouble said ages ago in my chat, probably I gotta leave the best till last.
Yeah, I've seen that comment.
So I will let you go unless you want to hear your brothers, your teammates.
I mean, I'll be watching anyway. I'll just say thanks for streaming the league. Been fun.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure at least. I don't know about mine. I'm kidding. Yeah, I think it's been both our pleasures, and honestly, you've
Martin,
given
why are
us
you
enough
cackling?
to.
Nismo's the one who constantly wants safety cars.
Maybe I've just been quiet about my desire for safety cars.
I've converted
I'm
him
sad
to
to say you didn't get them.
You have no idea. My eyes lit up when I saw your car sideways.
Of course they did.
I'm like, there's gonna be a big crash.
That is the most you thing I've ever heard.
There's gonna be a big crash.
Oh no, sorry. The most you
Why
thing
are
I've
they
ever
not
heard is
slowing
calling,
down?
Mia cuckoo.
I called them correctly this way. I called it correctly. You were watching.
We'll see. I'll watch the replay.
I said it once wrong and I instantly went silent. But
Good.
There has to be a cuckoo compilation at the end of the season.
Someone needs to make them. Actually, also a compilation of him saying obviously or.
Oh my god, no!
Absolutely sorry. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I do
fun
say.
of GT Nismo's English. That.
You're right. I do that a lot.
Someone
I
needs
just
to do
realized.
Yeah, you do a massive amount. Even
I
when
do
doesn't
do
make
it. Oh my
sense.
god.
It's hilarious.
I mean, obviously and absolutely. I do that.
Absolutely obvious.
Exactly.
It is indeed.
But yeah, what amazing way to end this season, and we hope to see you in the next league.
See you in the next one.
Everyone. Oh, I've just realised that Trouble as well. Let's bring in Trouble, and then we'll bring in Dudek and Kaizen last. Hello, Trouble.
Hello, Trouble. Congrats on the top 10 finish.
Thanks. I mean,
How
I
was
don't
that
think I
recently?
could have finished outside of the top 10. But yeah, I'm happy.
Points are points.
Tell us a bit about your
Yeah.
race.
Well, it's probably better to start with qualifying. So, basically, I didn't do any practice before qualifying. And then I had a thing which Dudek had in the race where your car basically, well, like the steering will go off center and your car sort of acts as if it has suspension damage without actually having suspension damage.
Ooh.
So I had to reset, and it meant I only got like half qualifying. So before the race, I'd had like 7 minutes of practice. And I also didn't have a setup, but at least I started with the Spa setup. So it was sort of based on a wet weather setup, so it wasn't too bad for that. I did adjust it so that it was more understeery, so it was a very sort of not good for either of wet or dry, but not too bad at either.
So, what do you think caused most of the off-track moments? Do you think it was mostly due to tire wear, or was it puddles that were pulling you off?
Well, I think mostly what they were in the wet was that because I went for a sort of half and half setup, the car was really understeery. So if you took even like the wrong line, you'd have to slow down a lot to potentially not run wide. So it wasn't hitting puddle, and it was made worse by the tires. But I think the main reason was more just a mistake in line. Like if you start taking the wrong line, you then just go to a point where you either lose a lot of time, or you can try and stay fast and then potentially run wide, which is what I did a few times.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult to deal with an understeery car on a track that has so many like corners without
Yeah.
real braking zones in them.
Yeah, that is true.
Also, slightly unrelated, Svi is now in the ready for interview room. He didn't even race.
No, he didn't. I'm guessing he's just saying hi.
By the way,
Oh, Cuckoo's
Oh,
alive!
I am. I had my dinner. I'm back.
You've been in
Yay.
here for like the past half hour. You were typing after we'd already pulled you in, and you didn't say anything. You,
I was
you
on my phone. I was downstairs.
We're currently interviewing Trouble, so you have to wait a couple minutes. But yeah, Trouble, can you tell us which race you enjoyed the most this season?
Probably this one or Monaco, because those were the only ones that sort of went to plan. So, which meant generally that they had the most action for me. So,
yeah, did you have any nice battles you could tell us about tonight?
yeah, tonight after all of the sort of mayhem on the first 2 laps, I was sort of a bit further ahead of where I was expecting, and with having done very little practice, I was also like a few sort of half a secondish slower than most of the people around me. So I was just defending, but it was quite nice with the long corners because often like I'd have a slightly lower downforce setup, and it was basically just who could send it the hardest because slipstream would sort of be cancelled out by my lower downforce, and then it was just who could dare to go the fastest through the corners, which made it great fun in the dry. So I had a few battles with, I think it was Laruti and Daylau doing that, and then in the wet I had a battle with Ellie, which unfortunately ended slightly prematurely with her just tapping the back of me, and then I think she got some front wing damage and like went on the curb and span out.
Yeah, we definitely saw several off-track moments for Ellie, and I think they probably retired as well with
Yeah, they did.
the amount of damage sustained. And I mean, we saw a lot of cars towards the back of the field that were just minutes away from anybody else. But
Yeah,
in
I
the end,
mean,
they finished
I
in the
know
points.
they also hadn't done any practice, so they were not having a good time in the wet.
So I suppose it is safe to assume that you were the highest performing non-practice driver tonight.
Well, I think so. I think I was the only non-practice driver that finished. So yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
Something that I do want to know is as much as yes you were getting understeer, I do wonder when it was in the weather where it wasn't right yet to change onto tires, where it was raining but the track was greasy. How badly was that affecting yours and maybe other people's driving?
I don't know about other people's because I can't speak for their setups. However, to an extent, it made it sort of made the balance of my car very manageable. If that makes sense. So I'm from ever so slightly oversteery to sort of perfectly balanced and then slightly understeery, which was all perfectly fine, and I could get around the corners no issue. Even quickly, just because it wasn't at the point where you'd understeer off the corner. So for me, I think that was actually the point where I was gaining on a lot of the people around me, simply because it got to a point where my car's setup was just more balanced, and I'd had a bit more, like, few more laps going round.
Yeah, it's yeah, we definitely saw some moments from you. But overall, though, you know, you got in the points. You managed to still get ahead of a lot of people, and get some
Yep.
crucial points for your
It's
team.
just
Which
for once being consistent. It works
Better
apparently.
late than never.
Yeah.
very true. Which would actually leave your team beating Solar
Solar
Eclipse, which is
Which,
Dayligh's team.
unfortunately, Nico was not able to sort of start the race, and Daylau left partway through after spinning out and hitting things multiple times. So, yeah.
Dayla was straight up having a party with the safety car for quite some time as well.
Maybe I need to watch back the stream just to see that then.
Oh yeah, we definitely caught them a couple of times.
I saw him on top of the safety car when I was coming out the pits.
What was that?
I saw him on top of the safety car when I was coming out the pits.
Oh wow. No, we didn't quite catch that. We caught a bit of the light show, but yeah, I didn't see any of the mounting. That's gonna be interesting to see in the replay.
It
Yeah.
happened, I can confirm.
Mounting has happened.
Yeah,
No.
Cuckoo, seeing as you are in fact still alive, I will ask you a trouble-themed question. Can you remember having any interesting battles with trouble this season?
I'm gonna be entirely honest, I don't often remember who I've had a battle with. Most of the time I'm in VR with the HUD off, so I don't normally see the labels of whoever it was.
Ooh, you hear that, trouble? Those are fighting words.
Yeah.
Martin, you
I
should
just-
apply
I
to be
just-
for the next Drive to Survive.
I don't know, I
I
definitely
mean-
had some good battles for the first half of this race.
Yeah. I mean, in some of the more recent races, I know that we haven't had any battles. I think we've probably had about 2 battles this whole season, just
Yeah.
overall.
Basically, Austria and this race are like the only places I've had battles. And
I
then
wasn't
maybe
even there
with
for
Roman
Austria,
and
so-
Spa when I killed him.
Yeah, I still remember Austria. You were basically taking up all of the screen time until you eventually got disconnected. So that was quite the show you were providing us there.
Oh,
Well,
I was so
and don't
angry.
forget Wingless Laruti.
The stuff
Would
of
never.
legend. I don't think we'll ever forget Wingless Laruti.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
down in the history books, as I said all those years ago. But yeah, another thing which I actually do want to ask, Cuckoo, got it, is during the dry, you seem to be absolutely on the pace of maybe even the leaders. You know, you're very much
I was
fighting.
keeping up quite well. I had a little bit of a half spin going under the tunnel, I think. And
Yeah.
that kind of dropped me off the back of Kaiser a bit. But I managed to hold the gap, basically. Yeah, this was, I'd say, my most competitive race for the first half in the dry.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah, it was really good. It was yeah, just
We-
flowing, really good on the pace, having some good battles. It was a lot of fun.
I must
We,
sadly admit we did see you spinning a lot during the wet part of the
Yeah,
of the
funny
race.
story about that. I know it looked like I had wet tires on. I had dry tires on.
Oh,
Or rather, they were
Yeah,
wets that behaved
so-
like dries.
Yeah, exactly. My tires just decided, oh, I know we're meant to be wet tires that you've pitted twice for, but we're gonna behave like dry tires and send you back out onto this wet track.
Maybe they were
So,
just dry as cosplaying as wets.
Yeah, something like that. But
Yeah,
that's why
I
I was
think they were on strike.
because I was
We
driving
are in
on
a French
dry
car
tires,
after all.
essentially. So that's what happened to me after the pit stops, which was just fucking painful. Yeah. Eventually, I hit the wall and I changed the tire settings to automatic by weather, and then immediately, before I even got to turn 1, I could feel it was way better. And then, sure enough, I actually had proper grip. But yeah, I did 2 pit stops and was trundling around on essentially dry tires for about 10 laps, despite them saying it's wet and looking like wets.
Yeah, that was definitely pretty unfortunate, and yeah, you never really know with this game what happens with the tires. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's sometimes it
I
just
was
decides.
running like 4th before the pit stops. It was very painful.
Yeah, you definitely had the pace because I remember we saw you getting overtaken by Kays, and it looked like you were letting him by, not opposing any sort of too much
Well,
too much
if
defense.
it had started raining, it was because I literally couldn't do anything. Like,
I know at the start, but then but when as soon as he passed you, it's like you're already on the back of him, like following him around, and we're like, your setup is amazing until you got Ferrari'd. Ferrari in real life, not in this game. If you did a Ferrari now, you'd end up winning the championship.
Yeah, I think Kaiser had a bit of an edge on me, so I was like, I won't let him up too much, but I'll use the slipstream.
Yeah.
Just to kind of keep touch with him and just keep going. But yeah, I had that little half spin that dropped me out of them. Then they spun a bit later on, and that put me back in front of them, going into the pit stop phase.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Still, like, what amazing! You've had such. It's honestly you like Austria. You probably got a lot of the screen time.
Yeah, that first half of the race was just absolutely brilliant. That was the most fun I've had in a long time. Like, especially I can't remember who it was. It was like a bluish car that rocked up behind me, and they just couldn't get me on the straights at all.
I think it was Fanet.
Yeah, I just took the world record setup from time trial and I dropped the wings slightly just to get a bit more on the straight line, and that ended up being quite a good choice because any car that rocked up behind me basically couldn't get enough of a toe going into turn 1 to end up in front going into that corner, and then I could just properly block them for the next few and keep ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we definitely saw your car twitching quite a bit, even in the dry. So definitely makes sense that was a modified version of the world record setup.
Yeah, I mean, I quite like a twitchy car to an extent, so I was completely fine with it for the most part. But yeah, it's when the tire shenanigans happened that things got out of hand.
Very
You saw, I'm sure you saw the results.
Yeah, pretty much. But we do hope that that'll be those incidents will be far and few between in the next game. So we'll definitely be wishing you.
I hope so. That was just a bit soul destroying, really. It's the strongest race all season, and then that happened.
Yeah, very very unfortunate, but still though, we'll see. It's
First
been
half was mega fun though.
we've been through a lot. No, but yeah, still though, what an amazing season. Hopefully you'll be joining us for the next one on Automobilista, where hopefully a vote will be coming up soon to decide what class we will be going. If you had to, I don't know if you've got Automobilista or if you raced enough to know what class would you preferably choose of car.
Oh god, I've got no idea. I do have it, but I've not driven it so much, so I'm not like kind of in tune with it or anything. I've still got a lot of practicing to do with it, but yeah, I've messed around with like I think it's like the early 2010s equivalent of the F1 car on them, and they're quite fun.
Yeah.
It's about that and GT3 is I think all I've driven really on it.
Yes, GT3s.
I'm sure whatever it is will be fun though.
Yeah. Well,
Hopefully with less bugs.
yeah. Well, I don't think there is anyone in the interview, so this will be the closing one. It was one amazing race, one amazing season. It was amazing to have you guys racing around. And we hope to see you in the next one. If you're not in the next one, I'm gonna be sad. You know that, right?
I plan to be there.
Yes.
Hopefully
That's
I'll
the
be
good
more,
news.
more competitive like the first half of this race as opposed to like the rest of my season,
Yeah.
which was a bit shocking.
Well,
Anything that could go wrong did basically for most of it.
Well, yeah. What a way to close the season. We hope to see you in the next one.
We better see you in the next one.
We
Is that a threat?
Yes, it
How do we
is.
find out?
Try
Yeah.
not showing up, and then you'll find out if it was a threat.
Knock knock. Who's there? It's Martin.
Oh god.
But yeah, still what amazing season that you guys had, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. So yeah, we'll see you around.
Okay.
Definitely.
Good night, guys.
Well, Nisma, just before you go,
Yes.
two things to say. One,
Two.
we all know, even if I've done badly, I keep being interviewed. I'm pretty sure that you're happy to keep doing that because we all know that the reason for wanting me in interviews is just so you can look at the livery. And speaking of liveries, do you remember around the preseason race when you said you'd do a livery tier list?
Damn it, he remembered.
I'm still waiting.
Damn it. Oh, now I've actually got to do what I thought everyone forgot about that. I was doing it to get more views. You know how you do. Oh, damn it, now I've got to commit. Alright. I mean, I've got an entire 2 weeks break now. Since we won't be racing it.
You know, next week, another stream, but it says tier list.
Yeah, you know what? That
Tier
wouldn't be
list
bad.
live on stream.
Yeah, tier list live on stream. But
the true finale of the league.
the true finale. I'm gonna put your livery at the bottom now. I'm kidding.
No.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, so we'll see you guys in about 2 weeks. I'll hopefully talk to you guys before that though. But yeah, see you guys around.
Yep.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I'll be around.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. So that just leaves me and you, Martin, to end the final stream of the MSR League on Project Cars 2, and what a three seasons we've had. One of them that I wasn't in for, but honestly, what amazing 3 seasons we've had, and thank you for helping me helping me commentate and basically do all the camera work. I couldn't have done this without you. And yeah, I don't know if you're going to be commentating for the next league, but if you are, message me, and I'll definitely you'll definitely get in, basically.
Will do. I'll make sure I've got my special commentator's pants on.
So I've still got to buy myself a pair of those.
Currently just in your commentator's undies?
Yep. But yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching. if you haven't already followed, I please beg you do, because I'm 2 followers away from being affiliated, and that would be very much appreciated.
Yeah, I can vouch for it, guys. I haven't. Oh my goodness! What did he even say?
It sounded like he was using a recorder.
Did Ace push him in here?
Probably. But yeah, what amazing seasons we've had over the time. You know, me racing in the GT3 one, not competing in the first one, but being able to commentate this one with you guys has been absolutely a joy. And
And I've been loving the feedback we've been getting as well. It's I think we've had a lot of people enjoy the races. As Kaysa says, getting late, so no more interviews from the Scuderia driver. And I believe that Dudek came in for his 1 second interview about a minute ago. So
yeah, but yeah, what an amazing season. Thank you everyone for watching, and we hope to see you in approximately 2 weeks, where I will be commentating, hopefully, the AMS2 League, where we will be driving something which I'm not sure yet of. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
and please follow Nismo, just not in real life.
Thank you everyone. Bye.
Good night.